Okay, the name of this course is Romantic Literature, right? So,
So we can see it.
I think it's okay. uh, so, romantic literature. Can you define romantic literature? Anyone? What is romantic literature? The definition? Anyone? Can you try? Aziz, Mohi, Nilofa, what is romantic literature? No idea? Nilofa, Nipa, can they hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So,
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
romantic literature, no idea. Actually, romantic literature, it began in 1798. Okay. It began with the publication of William Wordsworth and Samuel Coleridge's Lyrical Ballads. Hmm. There was a book called Lyrical Ballads. It was published in 1798, and after the publication of this book, romantic literature began. All right. So before romantic literature, what was the age? The name of the age before romantic literature was neoclassical age. Okay, neoclassical age or neoclassicism. Neoclassicism, I mean, in that age, the poets and writers, they were following the rules and regulations, especially, the style of writing, the subject matters of the writers of the classical age, very ancient writers
So what
from.
is the, sir?
Yes, Aziz.
What is the period of neoclassical age? I mean,
Neoclassical age, 1660 to 1785. Neoclassical age,
1660 to 1785.
1785. Okay,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
neoclassical age. So after neoclassical age, romantic age began. All right. So in this romantic era, so why is it called romantic age or romanticism? Any idea? Actually, the book, the Lyrical Ballads, the way it was written, okay, it was really different and something new. The poems in this book, Lyrical Ballads, uh, they, they, they were written in a very new way, new style was followed, especially conversational style. All right. In this book, all the poems are conversational. Conversation, the way we talk every day. Conversation, dialogue. So the style of the poems is conversational, and which was really something new at that time in 1798. So a new age, a new era started with the publication of this book, because people didn't see anything like this. I mean, this style, conversational style of writing poetry was really new. So, romantic era or romantic age started in 1798 after the publication of the book. The name of the book is Lyrical Ballads, and two poets wrote this book together. I already mentioned the names of those two poets. One was S.T. Coleridge. S.T. Coleridge, full form is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and another poet was William Wordsworth. So, if anyone asks you who is the founder or who are the founders of romantic age, of romanticism or romantic literature, so you should say the founders of romanticism or romantic literature are William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. They were poets. Actually, uh, in this book, the poet S.T. Coleridge and William Wordsworth, they wrote about, they focused, or they most importantly wrote about the social change in England at that time. What happened at that time in 1798? You know, industrial revolution. Because of the industrial revolution, people were moving. People were going from from the villages to the cities. You know, because of the industrialization, so many mills, so many factories where can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right. So so many mills and so many factories were, established at that time. So people in the villages, they did not have jobs, so they wanted jobs, and they went uh, to the, you know to the cities to get jobs. So you see, people were living in 1798. People were leaving the villages and going to the cities to search for jobs. St. Coleridge and William Wordsworth, they were,
Sir,
yes,
sir, Munira wants to join. She sent a request, but you have to
she
accept
has
it,
she
sir.
has already joined. She has already joined.
No, sorry, sir.
All right. So as I was saying, at that time, people were going from villages to the cities. Why? For jobs. So William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge, they were very, very sad about it. Why were they sad? Because people were leaving villages and going to the cities. Villages are the uh, symbols of wonderful beauty of nature, right? In the villages, there are so many trees, greenery is there, birds, uh, animals of different kinds. So the poets William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge, they were actually trying to tell people that don't leave the villages. Okay, don't leave the villages. Stay in the villages. Stay in the villages because villages are full of beauty, uh, full of amazing beauty, and we need to protect nature, the trees, birds. We need to preserve them, protect them, save them. So if you, if we stay or if we live near the villages, if we stay near the villages, that means we can stay near Mother Nature, nature, natural world. So stay near the natural world. Do not go to the cities. Do not go to the towns. Who said this? Who were trying to tell this to the people? William Wordsworth, the poets William Wordsworth and
And S.T. Coleridge.
S.T. Coleridge. So they actually they knew how important nature is, okay, for the development of human beings, uh, both physically and mentally. Especially Mother Nature, natural world plays a very important role in the development of a person. That's why nature was the beauty of nature, the presentation of nature, birds, trees, uh, was very important, very vital to the romantic poets. So S.T. Coleridge and William Wordsworth, they did not like industrial cities, mills and factories. They did not like. This much clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Oh, very good.
Very clear.
So there were, the style, romanticism, or the era, romantic age. It started with the book, the Lyrical Ballads, and S.T. Coleridge and William Wordsworth. They together wrote this book. I already told you. And the poets, other poets, and other writers from that age, from that era, where other important poets and writers were William Blake, then Lord Byron, then another one, P.B. Shelley. Then there was another poet, famous romantic poet, John Keats, Robert Burns. Okay, so these are some of the notable or famous poets from the romantic age. There were also some writers, you know, dramatists, uh, other poets from that age, Goethe, Sir Walter Scott. He was a novelist, dramatist, and also a poet. Then Mary Shelley, um, Honor de Balzac, then Alexander Dumas, Victor Hugo, Gustave Flaubert. So these were the romantic writers, and there were also romantic writers from the from America, from the United States. I mean, the people, the writers who followed the style of William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. Okay, the writers from another country, America, the American poets and writers, they also followed the style of William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. So they were also called romantic writers or romantic poets. For example, American poet Edgar Allan Poe, he is also called a romantic poet. American national poet Walt Whitman, we can also call him a romantic poet. Then there is another poet, very well known, Emily Dickinson. We can also call her a romantic poet. So, what are the main characteristics of romantic literature? The main characteristics. Uh, I mean, their poems had some features. Okay, some features which were different from the poetry of you know of the previous, of the early age, neoclassical age. So I told you, after neoclassical age, romantic age started. So neoclassical age, the writers, poets and writers of neoclassical age, they followed one particular style. So the writers and poets of romantic age, they had their own unique style. So what are the main characteristics? In Bangla we call it বৈশিষ্ট্য of the writings of the poets and writers, especially in romantic age. I'm going to tell you one by one. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Yes, sir, we can
All
hear
right.
you.
Okay, fine. So characteristics, uh, you know, the feature characteristic number one, the individual feelings, emotions, and expressions. That means the the romantic writers and poets, especially the poets, they were very emotional, and they expressed their feelings by writing poems, by writing novels, etc. They were so emotional, and they did not hide their feelings, they did not hide their emotions. And this is characteristic number one. Characteristic number two is, uh, they rejected, the romantic poets and writers, they rejected rigid forms and structures. That means, what is rigid? Rigid means, you see, not very strong, not very complex. They did not follow any complex forms or structures. They just wrote. I told you earlier, their writing style was conversational. Conversational means like conversation. I mean, the way we talk to each other is very simple, easy, right? We use easy language. If I talk to Aziz now, or if I talk to Nilofa now, it is a conversation, dialogue. In Bangla, কথোপকথন. So the way we normally talk every day, in that time, in a romantic age, the poets and writers, they also used conversational English, conversational style. That's why their poems and novels and so on, they were so easy to read, easily understandable. The third point, in their writings, the third characteristics that we see is okay, please hold on a second, I'm just coming back. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
back.
sir.
All right, so the third and one of the most important points is this: romanticism or romantic literature gave much importance to natural world. I told you earlier, the birds, sun, moon, the trees, the leaves, all these were so important to the romantic writers. They were so inspired by nature, natural world. Whenever they got chances, they would go to the villages near the trees. Then they would take inspiration from the natural world. So they loved nature, they loved the trees, they loved everything from the natural world. So that's why they did not like industrialization. What is industrialization? I told you, you know, the establishment or the building of new industry, new mills, new factories. So they did not like. They did not like. So I hope you understand. It's very easy, isn't it?
Yeah,
The romantic
it's easy to understand.
the romantic writers, they loved nature. So that's why they hated industrialization. That means if you want to establish an industry, suppose if you want to establish a factory or a mill, that means you need to cut so many trees, right? Yes or no?
Obviously,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So that is why the romantic writers, they did not like industrialization, because so many industries, it means say the Nusrat Jahan has joined now. All right, so many mills and factories, I mean it means so many trees are cut down, so many trees are destroyed. So William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge and also other romantic writers and poets, they did not like this at all. They loved nature. Okay, next point is Actually, you must have realized when a poet goes to goes near a river or a lake or a mountain, or if he goes to uh, you know to a fountain, near a fountain. In Bangla we call it jharna. Even in a moonlit night, so a poet gets immense, huge inspiration. Do you agree?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We also agree.
Yes, sir.
uh,
And
he
even whenever they go to the forest,
Hmm.
they get that inspiration.
Exactly. I mean, the beauty of the fountain, the beauty of the moon, the beauty of the river, lake, the beauty of the rain. So the poets and writers, they get much inspiration to write new poetry. Okay. Next point is romanticism. Actually, the romantic writers, they also got inspiration from the French and American Revolution. Why? How are American and French revolutions uh, related to romantic age, to romanticism? Actually, romantic writers, they were, protesters. They were against any injustice. They did not like injustice. They did not like corruption. They liked to protest. The romantic writers, they always protested against injustice. So, French and American Revolution, the people protested against unfairness, against partiality, against unfairness, against injustice. So the romantic writers, they supported, and they actually were inspired by the French and American Revolution. The romantic writers, poets and writers, I am talking about the next point. Next point is the romantic poets and writers, they have a respect for the freshness and innocence of the vision of childhood. They loved the memories of the childhood. They respected the feelings, the emotions of the children. You know, the children, they are so naive. Naive means so innocent, so blameless, and the mind of the children is like a blank page. There is no corruption in the minds of the children. So the romantic writers, they actually loved children, and the way they felt, um, the children, I mean, their feelings. You were also children. I was also a child at one point of time in my life. So can you, remember the feelings at that time when you were children, Nilofa, Nilofa? Monira? Can you hear me? So, Nilufa, can you answer my question?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Or can you answer my question? You were also a child, right?
Yes, sir.
So, when you were a child, how was your emotion? How was your feeling?
Hello,
How was your
sir.
emotion when you were a child?
Yes, sir.
How was your feeling? How was your emotion?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me, Nilufa?
No, sir. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Mohi, can you hear me? Mohi,
Yes, sir.
okay, but I don't know
Yes,
why
sir.
Nilufa cannot hear me. Okay, then Munira, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mohi, can you tell me when you were a child, how was your feeling? How was your emotion?
Mm, Yeah. Yeah. I was very innocent and mm, uh, I did not understand anything harmful or
Mm-hmm.
peaceful, and
So you were
and
so
I was not conscious about my future and anything else.
so a child is normally pure, right? Pure,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
innocent, pure.
And so like
Yes. Tell me.
a child is angel like.
Yes, angel like, very pure, no sinless, right? There is no sin, and yes, innocent. So, as a child is innocent, his behavior is innocent, his mind is innocent, heart is innocent, right? Pure.
Yes, sir.
So, the romantic poets and writers, that is why the romantic poets and writers, they loved childhood, they were inspired by the childhood, we can also say. And next point is, Nilufa, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now I can hear you, sir.
Okay, good. So the next point is distrust of reason. What is distrust? Distrust means you don't believe, you do not believe in logic, and rejection of traditional authority. That means you want freedom, you don't want any jail like situation. You don't the romantic writers, the romantic poets, they did not like so many rules and regulations, so many uh, so much pressure, they did not like. They wanted to be free, they loved freedom. That is why they were against corruption, they were against bad rulers, they were against industrialization. They tried to be free in the society. They did not want to obey traditional authority. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
If I
Yes, sir.
continuously
You're very clear to
if I continuously tell you, do this, don't do this, do that, go there. I mean, they did not like. Okay, they wanted to be free. So this is another point, another characteristic feature of the romantic poets and writers is imaginative spontaneity. Imaginative spontaneity. That means imagination. Okay, so they liked to imagine, and from their imagination they wrote poetry. You know, the poets and also the novelists, the writers, they are so imaginative. They imagine and they write. For example, when a poet writes a poem, then sometimes he writes what he sees, sometimes he writes from his imagination. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm
Yes,
trying to
sir.
say? Okay, for example, if I write a poem about, about today's class, so is it from imagination or is it connected with reality, real life?
So it's connected
Connect
with the
completely.
reality.
Reality. But if I just write about, for example, about America, is it connected with my first-hand experience, or from my imagination I will write about America? Can I hope you can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as I was saying, if I write a poem about America now, I'm in Chattogram. So if I write a poem about America, is it connected with reality, or from my imagination I will write?
It's
Imagination.
totally from imagination.
Imagination. Very good. So the poets and writers were so imaginative, the romantic poets and writers. The romantics, the romantic poets and writers, they also liked ruins and relics. Ruins and relics means they loved. Okay, you can mute your audio. When you will talk, you can unmute yourselves. Okay. All right. As I was saying, the romantic poets and writers, they liked. Okay, whose mic is unmuted? Can you mute yourself? All right. So the romantic poets and writers, they loved old buildings, with moss all around, with what should I say? I mean, full of bushes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Uh, who doesn't understand? Munira, Farzana, the romantic poets and writers, they loved old buildings, old places, ancient, very old places. For example, very old churches, very old temples,
Like
building,
historical place.
historical places. The buildings are there, but no one lives. People say that ghosts live there. uh,
I mean, sir, abandoned place.
Abandoned
Yeah.
places, haunted places. uh, Can you give an example from Bangladesh? Any place where old buildings are there? Any place from Chattogram?
Hassan Manjil.
Hassan Manjil, okay. From Chattogram, any other place? Any other building? Very old building? Building from the, British era?
Sir, Lalbagh Kella.
It's Dhaka.
Okay, it's in Dhaka,
Sir,
but from Chattogram?
sir,
Yes, Aziz.
sir, in Mohsin College campus, there is a old building that was built by the British Emperor,
Okay, okay.
and already it's abandoned.
So I
Totally.
hope you understand what I am trying to say.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay,
these
sir.
poets and writers, romantic poets and writers, they were attracted by old buildings, abandoned places, haunted houses. Why? Because it was, full of excitement for them. They felt excited when they visited or when they went to the old buildings, ancient places, and they also got inspiration to write poetry about those places. So the next point means the next feature in Bangla বৈশিষ্ট্য is heroism. Can anyone explain this heroism? The romantics, they loved heroism. Anyone? Can you try?
Adventure.
Okay, what does a hero do? Hero
Adventurous
in a book,
words.
or in the
Battles
cinema.
and wars.
Yes, a hero fights.
Courageous
Daring.
thing.
Hero is
Courageous.
courageous,
Daring what?
daring, and he does not stop anywhere, right? He does
Yeah.
not fear. He is not afraid
Anybody.
of
Anything.
anything. So hero, I mean, you know for example, Superman, Spider-Man, I mean, these are heroes. So the romantics, they, I mean, by writing the poems, by writing the novels, the romantic writers, they were creating unforgettable heroes. For example, Humayun Ahmed, he wrote about Himu, right?
Yes,
Misirali.
sir.
Okay.
Missy Ali also.
Misir Ali. So was there any Misir Ali before Humayun Ahmed wrote? Was there anyone that wrote about
No.
Misir Ali or Himu? No. So Humayun
No.
Ahmed created, right? Created the character, the heroes, Misir Ali and Himu. So they are heroes and they are unforgettable. We don't forget. We remember Himu, we remember Misir Ali. Similarly, the romantic poets and writers, they also wrote about, I mean, they created unforgettable heroes, amazing heroes by writing novels, by writing poetry. Actually, the romantic poets and writers, they wanted to be free, they were courageous, they were brave, and they also liked and loved heroes, because heroes are also brave, courageous, and the heroes are also, heroes also want freedom, liberty, or independence. I hope it's clear now. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you have questions, you can ask me after the class. You can note down. Okay, you can just note down. Write your question in your maybe in your notepad. You can ask after I am done. After I finish my lecture. So next is sense and sensuality. This is another characteristic or feature that we find in the poetry of poetry and especially
Hello, sir.
yes, Nilufa.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, Nipa is in waiting list.
Oh yes, I have already accepted. I have accepted.
Thank
She
you,
has
sir.
joined.
Sir.
All right. So as I was saying, uh, the romantic poets and writers, they also loved sense and sensuality. What is sense? Anyone? Hello? Hello?
Sir, the
What is
imaginary
sense?
power.
Senses. Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
what is
the
sense?
imaginary power.
Imaginary power. Anyone
Sir,
else?
sense is what the writer feels about a particular subject.
Okay. Any other one? Any other explanation? Munida, Mohi, anyone? What is sense?
The writer's own observation.
On observation. Okay. So when we say sense, what is it actually? In Bangla we call it Pancho Indriyo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Five
Yes.
senses. Five senses.
Yeah.
Sense of
Sir,
touch.
imagery.
I
Sense of touch. Sense of seeing. You know
answer. I.
what are the five senses?
I. Tongue.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Sense of hearing, sense of touching, sense
So,
of seeing. You can see by your eyes. Then sense of
sense of tasting.
taste. Tasting means you
Tongue.
can taste. When you eat food, you can sense, you can feel the taste.
Yeah.
When if I talk to you, you can sense. That means you can know that I am talking by using your ears.
Hearing.
Do you
Yeah.
understand what I am trying to say here, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There are five senses. Five senses in Bangla. Pancho indriyo. Pancho means path. Number one, see. We can see by using our eyes. Number one, sense. Number two, sense. Hear. You can hear by using your ears. Number three, touch. You can feel. You can sense by using your hands, your legs. Now if I pull Mohi's ears, will he feel the touch?
Obviously, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why not?
Okay, and will he be happy if I pull his ears, or will he be sad?
I will be sad, sir.
Confused.
He'll be sad.
Sir, maybe happy.
Maybe he will be happy, huh? It depends on the situation. Okay. All right. So taste. How we sense or feel taste? By using our tongue.
By using our tongue.
Tongue, right? Then how do we sense? How do we feel any smell? Smell. good smell, bad smell. How? By using our
Nose.
By using our nose
nose.
when
Nose.
we take
Nose.
breath.
So these are the five senses you must remember. Okay, can you tell with
Yeah.
me? Number one is seeing. Number two is
Hearing.
hearing. Number three,
Hearing,
Touch.
touch, touching,
touching. Number four,
yes, sir.
Mm.
Testing,
Tasting.
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 Number five,
smelling.
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 Smelling. So the romantic poets and writers, they used all these five senses. Uh, you know why? Why did they use all these five senses? Because they believed that if you want to write great poetry, you must use all these senses. Actually, sensuality is not always connected with sex, physicality, physical affair or physicality. Sensuality is not always connected with sex. Sensuality is also connected with senses. Five senses I have already talked about. For example, if you write a poem about natural world, about the trees, birds, it is also sensual. Okay, sensual. Why? Because you have written the poem about a flying bird. The bird is flying, there is gentle air. So if you write like this, that means the poet, that means you are the poet. You have sensed, you have felt everything. You have felt the air, you have seen that the bird is flying, you have seen, and then you are writing a poem about the flying bird, about the air. So when the reader will read the poem, they will also feel, the air, they will also see the bird, you know in their imaginations. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain, Nilofa? Should I explain again? Mohi, do you understand sense and sensuality?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain?
Sir, hello,
Yes, Nilofa.
hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, I can't hear you, sir.
Everyone can
Hello.
hear me. Everyone can hear me, right? Nilufa, I don't
Yes,
know
sir.
Sir,
the
I
mic.
can't hear you.
Maybe it's a problem with your mic. Anyway, so Monira, can you explain what I
Sir,
have? Nilufa, yes, can you hear me now?
yes, sir. Sir, you asked me a question, sir.
Yes. Can you explain?
So can you repeat the question?
The
I didn't
question
hear.
is, if I write a poem about a flying bird,
Yes, sir.
if I write a poem about, gentle air, sweet, gentle air. So after writing the poem, if I publish it in a book, then the readers will read the poem, right?
Yes, sir. They'll read
So
it.
the readers will also read about the flying bird, about the gentle air, about the trees, about the rivers. So will they also feel will they also see the flying bird in their imagination when they will read the poem?
Yes, sir, because it will attract their five senses.
Yes,
But
exactly. When
yes,
you
sir,
are
it will
when
appeal all the five senses. It will
exactly,
appeal their five senses because of the words you will use.
exactly. If you read a
Yes,
poem about the Taj Mahal, then suddenly in your mind, in your imagination, the picture of Taj Mahal comes, right? Right,
Yeah,
Azim?
right, sir. Right,
So
sir.
yes, sir.
am I clear? Okay, great. The next point is, can you mute yourself? Anyone, especially from whose side a sound is coming? Maybe Nilufa, you mute yourself now. Okay. So the next point, the next feature is, okay. These are all. I have actually covered all the points, all the characteristics, and actually the romantics, they, as they were so emotional, their emotion was extremely powerful. That's why whatever is different, unique, exceptional, they always liked something exceptional, beautiful. For example, thunderstorm. It is raining outside now. It is raining outside, as you can see. So if a thunderstorm appears now, will you like it? Can Lisa?
No, sir.
Mohi
No.
will not like it.
No,
Lisa?
sir. No,
Nilufa?
sir.
No. Kanis? No.
No, sir.
Nipa? Will you like a sudden thunderstorm? Nusrat Taranum?
No, sir. No.
But the romantic writers, especially the romantic poets, they like thunderstorm. I mean, they liked and they still like thunderstorm. Okay. The romantic writers, they are not afraid of thunderstorm. They feel excited when they, you know, see thunderstorm. So if I
But why?
write, why? Because it's exciting. I mean, they see beauty in a thunderstorm. You are afraid, but they see beauty. I mean, it looks amazing when a thunderstorm is there in the sky. It comes suddenly and it vanishes. It goes away. Within a second. So it gives them the source of joy and beauty. Why? Another reason why did they like thunderstorm? Because they were courageous. They were not afraid of anything. Do you remember? I discussed the point earlier.
Yes, sir.
So I hope
Yes,
it's
sir. Especially in heroism.
heroism. They were like heroes. They loved heroes. They were also heroes. Okay. So I hope this is the introduction about romantic literature, and I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's it for today. I have already shared this sheet, shared this note, romantic literature, in the group. You can find in the group. You can copy and you can study at home. If you have any questions now, please ask.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, actually I missed the first word, so I am not clear about the definition of romantic literature. Please.
Definition of romantic literature means romantic literature started in 1798 when the book The Lyrical Ballads was published. And the Lyrical Ballads, it was written by William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge. They were poets, and they together wrote this book, Lyrical Ballads. So this book, I mean, the publication of this book, it started romanticism or romantic literature. And the age, the time span, the duration of romantic literature is 1798 to 1832. 1798 to 1832. This is called romantic age. And the writers from that age, from this duration, 1798 to 1832, all the poets and writers from this time frame, from this age, are called romantic writers, romantic poets. But if I write a poem now, if I write a poem by following the style of William Wordsworth or S.T. Coleridge, that means you can call me a romantic poet also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If I write a poem about nature now, that means you can call me a romantic poet, because the romantic poets at that time in 1798, they loved nature, trees, birds, etc. So if I write a poem about a moon, the beauty of the moon, that means you can call me a romantic poet. Okay. If I protest, if I protest against injustice, you can call me a romantic person, because the romantic poets and writers at that time, they protested against injustice, against corruption. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
If I go to an old building and enjoy the you know strange beauty of that place, that means you can call me a romantic person.
That time, sir, we feel a connection with old time.
You can feel the connection, you can feel a different, something different, something exceptional. If I love thunderstorm, if I love rivers, if I love ponds, lakes, then you can call me a romantic person. Okay.
Yes.
I have another class now. All right, it was really an amazing experience. Hope to see you in the next class.
What about our attendance?
Attendance, I know whoever has joined this session, so don't worry about this.
Sir,
I have screenshots, and I also have recorded it. Okay. So
sir,
if
do you
you,
need to take screenshot?
no, I have already taken, from my
Okay.
side, so don't worry. So if you want the video, I can upload it in the group later. All right, take care.
Okay, sir.
Goodbye.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Assalamu
you,
alaikum.
sir.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, sir.